September 11th. September 11th, men armed with knives, armed with chemical, biological, or even nuclear weapons. The fanatics who terrorist killers, September 11th, terrorists of Al-Qaeda, terrorists, Taliban, nuclear weapons, terrorists. 9/11 terror. My fellow Americans, we have already been attacked. Terrorist, evil.
September 11th, in those days after the towers fell.
September 11th. September 11th, ground zero. And suddenly the streets were full of sirens and there was fire in the sky. Terrorism, September 11th. Osama bin Laden declared war on America. September 11th, terrorists, a walking, talking weapon of mass destruction.
Barbaric terrorists for terrorism. September 11th. September 11th. The terrorists, war and danger. September 11th. September 11th. Terrorism. Global terrorism. The horror. Terrorism, terrorists. Terrorists, the terrorists. Terrorism. September 11th, global terrorism. Terrorism. September 11th, world terrorism. Terrorism. September 11th, threat of global terrorism. Global terrorism. September 11, 2001, global terrorism. Terrorists, global terrorism. Terrorists, September 11th, terror.
Terrorism, the attack on our homeland, back from the attack on our economy, and back from the attack on our way of life. Terrorists, hate. We must be fierce and relentless and terminate terrorism. Terrorists, you defeat them. It yearns to destroy not just the individual, but the entire international order. That's why America is safer with George W. Bush as president.
September 11th, terrorism. September 11th, terrorism, terrorists. September 11th,
Terrorist.
Terror. September 11th, threat, tyranny, terrorist, tyranny. People hate us.
Terrorism. September the 11th, terror. Weapons of mass destruction. September the 11th, terrorists. The evil terrorists. The terrorists know.